So, what is my favorite saying of all time? Okay, I don't know what my favorite saying of all time is, but one of my favorite sayings of all time is that the riches are in the niches. The further down you can break down a niche and find some area of interest where there is a captive audience, you can get rich, very rich. And we're going to talk about that on this next episode. So please take a listen and make sure to comment, ask any questions that you have, and subscribe and like if this is content that you enjoy and you find yourself intrigued by and would like to hear more. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next episode.
I realize by now that some of the things I say may contradict themselves, but you don't want to be one of those people who constantly is picking at the details, trying to find fault. Rather than that, I think it makes sense. And I find myself being like that from time to time, and I've got to correct myself and correct my path when I'm doing that. You want to capture the general energy, the vibe of what the person is saying, and how that information is useful to you. Bruce Lee used to say, absorb what is useful, discard what is useless, and add what is specifically your own. One of the key principles that I often talk about is the riches being in the niches. And the more niche you can get, the better off you will be. Blue Ocean Thinking. I recommend that book. I like to constantly be blue ocean. How do I do that? I find niches. I dominate those niches and become the dominant leader there until somebody else moves in. And then I make a decision if it's worth it to stay or if I branch out into another area of blue ocean. Back in the days of herbal ecstasy, there was no supplement that did what ours did. In fact, supplements were very boring. And we were a disruptor, a disruptive force in the industry that really didn't want to be shaken up. And we came in and we disrupted with a supplement that had recreational uses that nobody had ever done before. Nobody had ever thought of using legal herbs that were in dietary supplements as a party pill, which is what we did. And people freaked out. They lost their you know what. But at the same time, the sales went up and up and up. And I remember the first time that I actually got a piece of bad press. And it was nuts. And I was so scared. And I thought, that's it. It's done. We went on some big TV show and the host was really not happy and really didn't like me. And we had some bad magazine coverage of that and some bad newspaper coverage. And I thought, oh man, that's it. We're done. And sure enough, the exact opposite happened. The more people heard that what we had could be dangerous, the more people wanted to buy it. And the sales rolled in, hundreds of millions of dollars of sales. It was almost like they had done us a favor. They had alluded to the product being dangerous without specifically stating in a lot of cases that my product was dangerous. So they would say things like, this genre of product could be very dangerous. Ephedra could cause heart issues and people with high blood pressure. Well, of course, the people that were interested in going to raves and having parties weren't particularly the ones concerned about having high blood pressure issues. But the fact that they were saying it could be dangerous immediately led to a connection that I didn't necessarily make. And that connection was one of, hey, this thing might be dangerous, which means it sure might work. And that's all it took for people to buy it. In a world where so many things underdeliver, overpromise and underdeliver, our product delivered. Not only that, I was not the one making the promise. It was the mainstream media making this promise. It was all the big TV stations. It was MTV. It was CNN. It was the news of the time was telling people that my product was dangerous, or I should say could be dangerous. We actually won a couple cases where they claimed it was dangerous and then didn't have proof to back it up. In fact, I remember an MTV story going out showing a tombstone and then showing our product and saying that people dropped dead from our product at a rave, when in fact it was not my product. And we had a lot of fun with that. There was a settlement offer that was made. A lot of money was earned from us on that, and they had to publish a retraction. And if you guys ask in the comments, I would be happy to share the retractions that MTV and the various channels made from trying to say that herbal ecstasy caused any kind of injury. And to this day, I hold true that there has never been a single incident of anybody being injured or harmed in any way from herbal ecstasy. The formula was incredibly non-injurious to anybody who took it. So on that note, I'll see you guys on the next episode.